welcome to Choosing Plants. My name is Heather, and this is a channel where I try different 30-day vegan challenges to see what challenges maybe are the easiest or the hardest, what things are really good for weight loss. Other things, like the last challenge I just did was exercise, and that actually worked out really well for losing some inches. Not losing any weight, but that's okay. So anyway, I have decided what my new challenge is going to be, and this one actually, for some reason, I had a little bit of a hard time making a decision about what it is that I wanted to try next, because there are several different things that I wanted to do, and I was having such a hard time deciding, so I just said, you know what, stop, just pick one and go with it, do the others next. So this time we are going to do High Carb Hannah's Lean and Clean. I would assume that the majority of you know who High Carb Hannah is, but she is probably in her late 20s, maybe 30-ish, right around there. Seems like a super, super sweet girl. Really has it going on for her age and what she's been through, and she seems great. So anyway, she has a challenge that Lean and Clean. It is a 14-day plan. She and her husband Derek have a lot of different books. There's cookbooks and just lots of different stuff that's available to help people on their journey into plant-based living and also into weight loss. So she has, she doesn't follow her Lean and Clean on a regular basis herself. At least she hasn't up until, again, recently. And she's just a normal person, you know. She comes and she goes. She does better sometimes than other times in terms of eating junk, not eating junk, drinking alcohol, not drinking alcohol. She's a real person, which is part of what makes her so incredibly interesting to watch, is that she's human, just like the rest of us. So anyways, her Lean and Clean challenge, I would highly recommend, if you're interested in doing this, that you go and download a copy. Her books aren't available on a printed out version of it, because they're doing the whole environmentally friendly, doing everything via electronics, which is cool. So she has her books that you can download. I have mine in iBooks on my iPhone, so however you would want to do that. I have actually almost all of her books. So if it's anywhere around Black Friday in November, consider waiting just a tiny little bit to start the challenge if you can. She and Derek put all of their stuff on sale on Black Friday, which is how I just decided to buy everything when it went on sale last year. And then, yeah, it's great. So, but if you want to do this particular challenge, you can go and just purchase this one particular book. It's a really interesting read. It's got information about her journey, which I definitely it's been a little while, but I watched like all of her vlogs and all of Derek's when his channel used to be, I can't even remember the name of what it used to be. I'll put it in the description box below. But anyway, so he's got the whole handyman thing going on now, but when he was building their tiny home, I've watched all of those, and very interesting. So anyway, her lifestyle is very clean, in my opinion, in terms of how she lives and what she does, and it's really great to see. This particular book, so it had her background, it's got information about food addictions, which is super interesting. The first person that I ever heard talking about food addictions was actually Chef AJ, and her information comes from either Dr. McDougall or Dr. Goldhammer, and I really hadn't ever really thought about it much before, and then not too long ago I got Dr. Furman's Fast Food Genocide on Audible, and yeah, listen to that book. I've listened to it a bunch of times. It's really, really interesting. It's really hard to give up. I mean, they make it sound like it's so easy that it's not hard. Maybe it's not hard, and it's just hard for me. I don't know. But giving up salt, oil, and sugar has been a challenge. So I did an SOS-free challenge before, salt, oil, sugar-free challenge, and was terrible at it. And I think that's because I relied a lot on higher fat foods to make the flavor up. So I was having like a lot of things with nuts and a lot of things with avocado, and just really heavy on that type of thing. And that didn't work out well for me. So High Carb Hannah does do SOS free in this Lean and Clean challenge, but she's also high carb, low fat. So you will have some fat in your diet on her challenge for sure, because it's healthy. It's not bad for you to have a little bit of healthy plant fat, but an excessive amount, more than, I would say, probably 8 to 10% of your total calories, is unnecessary. So this particular challenge, her book, she's got 4 principles. So the first principle is whole food. Okay, very simple, whole plant food, which means no vegan junk food. So for the last challenge that I was doing, my exercise challenge, I kind of just showed you guys all of my favorite recipes, the things I really, really enjoy, and I don't think one of them didn't have either salt or sugar. And by sugar, I mean like maple syrup or something along those lines. I don't know. And not salt as in salt. I don't put salt in my food like ever, but I do use Better Than Bouillon no chicken base, which has a lot of salt in it, and low sodium tamari, which definitely still has salt in it, and other things like my ketchup has salt in it and sugar in it for that matter. So there's not really a whole lot of things that don't have salt and sugar unless you're eating the whole plant food. So that's what this is about, whole plant food. Then the no additives, so the no sugar, no salt, no oil. The no oil part is not a problem at all. If you don't eat processed foods, you don't have to add oil to anything. It's totally easy to not do that, to be honest with you. So whole plant foods, no additives. Those are the first two. The third one is daily movement. And the reason that I did my exercise challenge before was because I wanted to get into a pattern of having exercise on a daily basis. And so what she would like to have you do, and this is probably not going to happen because I'm not going to dedicate an hour of my life every day to this, but she would have you do a warm-up for about 30 minutes, a real high level of intensity, like maybe 10 minutes of actual physical activity, and then like a 20-minute cool down. And I think the goal of that is, I think your goal is to get to that. I don't think that's necessarily where she expects everyone to start, but to get to that on a daily basis, I really think that would be really good for people, myself included, just all the way around. I just think it would make everybody feel really good about themselves and about life if they were spending an hour of time concentrating on their body and feeling good and exercising. I think that would be really good. I don't know that that's going to happen, but that is one of the things that she talks about. And the other one is positive mindset. So she's really big on this. And again, I think it's probably extremely healthy and not really in my lifestyle. Maybe I'll try to do a little bit better with this, but the whole positive thinking things are coming to you, I struggle with that just a little bit. And I'm not putting anybody down, but it does seem a little bit woo-woo to me. Not in a bad way, because I think that people that actually live this way are probably happier people, to be honest with you. So anyways, but the whole positive mindset, I do think there's a whole lot to be said positive about that. One of the things that she talks about is having goals and having habits. And her goal isn't, she's quite specific about, don't say that your goal is to fit into a size 10. Don't say that your goal is to be a specific weight. Have it be about your mindset and about what would make you happy in terms of your general being. So I think things for me would be like being comfortable in my clothes, feeling good about the exercise that I'm doing every day, like just it makes my body feel good. So continuing that, maybe being at the point, a goal would be to be at the point where I really and truly enjoy whole unadulterated food without the additives like the sugar and the salt additives. So those are the kinds of things that my goals and my habits, those would be the things that I would really like to move towards making those normal in my life. So that's what I'm going to be looking for. She does say to track your progress for your workout in terms of, so like my last challenge, I did the Insanity Fit test every 7 days and really actually noticed a difference, like for real noticed a difference from the time I started to the time I finished in terms of endurance and being able to do those exercises. So that was great. That was really actually pretty affirming in terms of positive thinking and wow, look at this, it's actually getting better. So I think that's what that's all about, is just trying to make people understand that slow is good. A slow amount of improvement over time is what you're looking for, not necessarily overnight that you're all of a sudden being able to bench press 200 pounds when yesterday you were doing 5. So anyways, so whole plant foods, no additives, daily movement, positive mindset, those are the biggies. And then I have to be totally honest with you guys. I am going to show you what I'm eating, and I am going to show you some of her recipes, but I am not going to show 100% of what's in her book in terms of the recipes, because this is how she and Derek make their livelihood, and I'm not really, I don't think that's fair. So I'm sorry if that upsets anyone and you don't want to watch the rest of the challenge because you want to see what all of the recipes are. I'm just letting you know ahead of time. I don't think that's cool. I'm not going to be doing that. But I will show you one recipe every day in terms of what it is that I'm doing. And things that I'm eating and that type of thing. So I think that that's probably fair. And then I really do think that if anybody wants to do this challenge, get her book. It's not that expensive. And it's interesting. It's an interesting read. I've read it twice now. So if you are interested in following along, that would be great. And I'm actually looking forward to this one because I really do have the exercise down. It's been about 5 weeks since I started the beginning of my exercise challenge. And out of that, I've missed 1 day of exercise in the last week. And that was just because I was not feeling well and super, super exhausted. Not a good excuse, but that's what it was. So anyways, that's what that is. I'm really excited about this challenge. I have seen that other people have done this, and I think that from what the sounds of it, they seem like they enjoyed it and were successful at it. So yay, very excited. So yeah, tomorrow rather than being day one, tomorrow is going to be me doing the first week prep video. That is something that I think is important for people to understand. In order to succeed at this, you probably do have to prep some food ahead of time, because you're not going to be making, you're not going to want to bake potatoes every day. There's things that you're not going to want to do every day. And one last thing, in her book, she does have a weekly, grocery list. So things that you would need to have in your house in order to make it be successful for the next 7 days. And I don't know if you guys remember when I did the 10 and 20 Dr. Furman challenge, but I hated doing the grocery haul videos, with a passion. I hated it. So I'm not doing it again. It was horrible. I don't know why it was so awful, but it was just, I think part of the reason was because a lot of the stuff that would be on the list of things to incorporate, I already had. And going to the grocery store and having groceries that I then had to put away, but then getting stuff out that I already had in order to show you guys what it was that I already had for the challenge, I hated it. I'm not doing it again. But she does have specifically in her one page before each of the 7 days what it is you need to have in your house, which is super, super helpful. So your grocery list, if you don't already have in your house, you go and get those things. Terrific. So the majority of the stuff on her list are things that I already have. I will have to pick up a few things, no problem. That's great. I really highly would encourage you to get her book if that's something that's interesting to you, and follow along and let me know how you're doing if you're doing it with me, because that would be super cool. Yeah, so that's it for now. Tomorrow, going to be a food prep day. I don't think it will be that big of a deal in terms of time consuming, but there are some things that you need to make ahead of time. So that's it for sure. I'm done now. And I will see you guys for tomorrow for day one.